So we are working on challenge problem, and this is actually challenge problem number 3. So, let's read through the problem. Jackson needs to be 1 3/4 inch taller in order to ride the roller coaster. Since he can't wait, he puts on a pair of boots that add 1 1/6 inches to his height and slips an insole inside to add another 1/8 inch to his height. Will this make Jackson appear tall enough to ride the roller coaster? So this is another one that the sentence is a little trickier because it's going to be a comparison. We have to say whether or not he will be tall enough or whether or not he won't be tall enough. So notice my sentence says Jackson appear tall enough. Does or does not appear tall enough. So this is a problem that we need to do a comparison. We do have a part whole model, but we need to take our two parts and that whole and compare it to another number. So if you think about it, we need to look and see how much taller Jackson appears. So we know that Jackson added boots and he added insoles inside his shoes to make himself taller. And the boots were 1 1/6 inches, and that insole was 1/8 of an inch. And we need to compare it to this 1 3/4 inch taller that he needs to be. So we can look at this and we need to find out this whole first, because we need to decide if this whole is greater than, less than, or equal to the 1 3/4. So what we are doing is we are taking 1 1/6 plus 1/8, and then we are going to compare it to that total of 1 3/4. So before we can do that, we do need to figure out this sum. We do need to figure out this whole. So we need to stop and think. We need to add 6 1/8. We do not have a common denominator. We need to find one. So we need to find our least common multiple of 8. So we have 8, which does not work with 6. We have 16, which does not work with 6. 16 divided by 6 does not work out to be a whole number. Then we go to our next multiple of 8, we find 24, and 24 does work with 6. 24 divided by 6 will give me 4. So our least common denominator is 24. So we found our least common multiple to help us find our least common denominator. Those are two separate things. So now we need to know 6 as 24ths and 8 as 24ths. So if I have 1/6 as 24, I need to multiply both by 4. 6 times 4 and 1 times 4 would give me 4 24ths. And I have 8s. So I need to know what I multiply 8 by. 8 times 3 gives me 24. So that means I multiply my numerator by 3, and 1/8 equals 3 24ths. So I can go ahead and replace these two fractions with their equivalent fractions. I have 1 1/6 equals 1 4 24ths. Do not forget that whole number. And then I have to add 3 24ths. And I end up with 1 7 24ths. And I still need to compare it to 1 3/4. But I can't really, because I have different denominators. I have different units. Remember we talked about apples and oranges. I can't compare them because they are not the same unit. So I need to know what 1 3/4 is as 24ths. So I'm going to think about my 24. I know that I have to multiply 4 times 6 to get 24. So I know I need to multiply 3 times 6 to get 18. And remember, I'm going to add that whole number in. So I'm now comparing 1 7 24ths to 1 18 24ths. I know that it's less than. So that tells me that Jackson's height that he added to himself, all of this that he added to himself is not enough. He does not appear tall enough. Now remember, you can write that in the sentence, but if you don't have the work to support it, you will not get any credit.